around the Department of Defense. This is your daily news brief.
The class of 2019 is soaring high. I'm Mark Weeks. President Donald Trump delivered the commencement address for the graduation and commissioning of the U.S. Air Force Academy's class of 2019 in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
To the nearly 1,000 cadets who will soon become second lieutenants in the U.S. Air Force. You could have chosen any school, any career you wanted, but you chose a harder path and a higher calling to protect and defend the United States of America.
The newly commissioned Air Force officers will be entering into many career fields, including many space specialties.
In this stadium today are many of the future leaders who will develop the doctrine, strategy, and technology to restore America's legacy of leadership in space. As you know, other nations are moving aggressively to weaponize space.
On his multi-stop visit to Asia, Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan met with his Indonesian counterpart as the United States looks to improve ties with that country.
This is my first stop here in the Indo-Pacific, and it was a very productive and encouraging visit. The primary purpose of this stop was to really forge a relationship between the minister and I.
The secretary said the two nations have many issues in common, such as counterterrorism, maritime domain awareness, and the challenges in the South China Sea, and says the talks focused on 4 areas of cooperation.
Expanding and increasing our complex training exercises. Second is an increase in intelligence sharing. We're also going to improve the degree to which we do education. And then lastly, in one of the more critical areas, to the extent that we do interoperability.
Speaking to an audience at the Brookings Institute in Washington, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Marine Corps General Joe Dunford said the threats coming from Iran and its proxies are different than in the past.
In the last week of April, I began to see more clearly things that I'd been picking up on over a period of months. And what was qualitatively different about the threat stream we had seen was it was multiple threat streams that were all perhaps coming together in time.
In response, last week, DoD announced it would send 1,500 more service members to the region to ensure there was the proper level of force protection for American troops in the region.
And they were accompanied by a message that this is not intended to be a provocation. This is not intended to reinforce our offensive capability in the region. This is designed to protect our people, much like the previous force elements we sent in were designed to enhance our deterrence. And so that's where we are today.
The general said these moves were designed to correct any possible Iranian misperception, and that the U.S. wants Iran's leaders to know that they would be held responsible for any attack, and that the United States has capabilities in theater to respond and will use those capabilities if deterrence failed. That's your DoD News Brief. I'm Mark Weeks. You can find more stories about your military at defense.gov and by using hashtag KnowYourMil.